What is up, everybody? Janeless Racing 35 here. I'm going to be doing an unboxing and an overview, first look at the KATO Amtrak P42 Superliner N-Scale starter set. That is part number up here, 106-0017. This is the box right here. As you can see, you get an engine and 3 cars. You get a power pack, and you get a whole bunch of track. You get some straight track and some curved track. That's in this set here. You can purchase other, what they call variation sets. This is the V1. This will be in a separate video that I'm going to be doing, because this one is focusing on the P42 Superliner starter set here. So I will take the box, or the styrofoam out of the box, and I will see you then. Alright, so here we have the box laid down. It's just got a little tab on the back where you open the side and you pull out like so. Sometimes these guys can be a little bit tricky because there's like a vacuum back here, but we shall cast this aside because it is no longer needed. This is what you get in the box. Yep, you can see that alright. You got the power pack here. This is the plug for the power pack. You get 4 sections of, I believe this is about, looks about 8 to 9 inches of straight track. And then this is about half of that, so 4 to 4.5 inches. And then these guys are curved sections. It's set up using the Unitrack that KATO has, and a 2 sections of curved make a 90-degree turn. And then you have your train cars and engine, each in their own little acrylic box, which is pretty cool if you ask me. They look fairly detailed. We'll take a closer look at those in a moment. You get a re-railer. This kind of keys in on the track, and you put the train here and push it off, and it'll be perfect on the rails. I will demonstrate that a little bit later also. And then there's a little tool here to take the joiners off. I believe you do it like, flip this guy over, and then I think you go at it like this. Nope, I am incorrect. There we go. And then just kind of pull, and it comes off like so. And then you have this guy right here, and you can put him back. Just kind of line it up and snap it back in. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of the styrofoam, and I shall resume recording. Alright, so we got everything out and on the table. This is a 4x6 sheet of particle board, which will eventually become my layout. As you can see, the kit comes with, you know, a lot of stuff. It's not a ton, but it is definitely enough to get you up and running. It comes with enough track to make a fairly decent sized oval, which I will make and run the train on a little bit later in this video. You have the power pack here, which feels, it's very lightweight, but it also at the same time feels very well made. It's got some, you know, it doesn't feel creaky, it doesn't feel all, you know, it doesn't feel cheap. It's got some little outputs over here. Those are for the switches. If you have little electronically actuated switches, here's the direction selector. And then this guy feels very smooth. The throttle control, it feels extremely smooth. There's no, you know, grain to it or anything. If you've ever used one of those old transformers, or whatever you want to call it. On the back here, you have the input for the plug, which is in here. It's a 15 volt 1 amp or 1.5 amp input. Here is like a fuse breaker switch, and then this is where you connect to the feeder track. It actually uses this, and it's very nice because no more fiddling with screws and bare wires. It just kind of keys in place like an old Tamiya style battery clip for a remote control car. And then the other end of this goes into this, which is the feeder track. It's just a very short section of track, and it's got a little notch cut out on the bottom. And you plug this guy in. Oh, the other way around. It's like a USB cable. 50% chance, get it right 89% of the time, or get it wrong 89% of the time. And there you go. And it sits flush wherever you need it. So let's take that out, and actually we don't need this anymore. We've already talked about it. It comes with two 2-inch sections of track, two 4-inch sections of track, four 8-inch sections of track, and then it's got a total of 8. My numbers are off. Did I forget one? Well, it comes with enough to make 2 180-degree bends. I don't think they're all here. I seem to have misplaced one. Well, that's not important. I did receive a complete kit. I already looked. So, wow, yep, there it is. My brain not working. I'm terrible at math. I apologize for that. Anyways, this guy right here is like a crossing track. And what's cool is they include another spacer, so that if you want to have another one of these run parallel to it, you can do that. But if you are just going to use the one track, in the meantime, while you are building up your layout, you can just kind of snap these guys on there, and boom, you have a nice little level crossing. This is just another, piece of track. And then these guys are they're kind of flimsy, but at the same time, when are you going to be going like this to your railroad? So we have all those taken care of. This is the re-railer. I'm just going to push all of this off to the side because I'm sure you guys came here for the actual trains that it came with. I know I did. So, actually those are not in camera. So, each individual train comes with its own acrylic box. It might not be acrylic, it might just be plastic. But either way, it is really cool, in my opinion. That made me really like this company. Little touches like this, little cheap, things that they can do, because, let's face it, it's not going to cost a lot of money to put each individual train car in one of these little cases. So, little things like that add to, the quality or the appearance of the quality. What I will say is, as I get one of these guys open, they're a little bit difficult to open. You kind of got to be a little easy with it. And it's one of those things that you definitely need 2 hands for. But here is, I want to call this like the Vista car, because it's got the little windows up top. The weight of them is somewhat light. It doesn't feel cheap, but at the same time it doesn't feel, super duper expensive. I do like the little touches with the couplers. Let me see if that's actually in frame. It is. I like the little touches with the couplers. They got the little hoses, or whatever you want to call that, hanging down, like on a real train. If you actually look in between the cars, they got, little deals hanging down between the couplers. These cars are not lighted, but they actually sell a lighting kit, so you can light the interior of the cars, which is pretty neat. They have little contacts. The wheels are metal, and they have little contacts there that run up inside. and you can take the top off like so and light up the inside of the cars. Let's see. I'm not going to open the other train cars because they're pretty much identical. They just have different numbers on them and different interiors. But what I will open is the actual engine itself. Here we go. I've got it out of its box. It is comes with a little plastic piece right here, just keys into the bottom here, and keeps it nice and flush inside its case so it doesn't rattle around. It's a P42. I'm assuming that's probably like a General Electric or something like that. I don't know much about actual trains themselves, but if you do know, feel free to correct me. I'd love to know what the actual, what the manufacturer of this train is, because it's pretty cool. I know they use them for a lot of the high-speed Amtrak services. There's one by where I live that runs through my town, actually called the Downeaster. It goes from Maine to like New York or something, or Pennsylvania. I don't really know. I know it goes from Maine to, down east. But anyways, this guy is really neat. He's got some weight to him. The front lights light up when you apply power, and when you're in reverse, the back lights right here light up. They have the same couplers as the cars, so that you can connect to them and pull them around. And this one is number 161, which you cannot get anywhere else except for this this pack here, this starter kit. I'm gonna set up the track and do some talking about that. So I will see you then. One thing that I wanted to mention before I got into any of the of the track is if you are familiar with Bachmann Easy Track, this is not anything like Bachmann Easy Track. I think it is a lot better. It's actually called Unitrack. It's a KATO thing that they kind of made up or came up with. This right here, let me just move my display so I can actually see what I'm doing here. I'm actually filming with my GoPro. But this guy right here is Bachmann Unitrack. Not Unitrack, sorry. Bachmann Easy Track. And it's got two little clips on the bottom here. Oh, let me actually get that in frame. It's got two little clips on the bottom here that when you push them together, they just kind of clip together. And then on the other side, you need the track joiners, and you need to line them up at the same time and just push them together. It's a decent system. It works. It's cool. But at the same time, it doesn't look all that realistic. If you were to take these and look at this, the bottom one is the KATO Unitrack. The top one is the Bachmann Easy Track. And also, you can't get Bachmann Easy Track in long sections. I believe you can only get them in 4-inch sections. But again, I could be wrong. But these guys, the KATO tracks, they're all hand-painted. And in my opinion, they look a lot better. I'm going to show you the track joiners on the KATO Unitrack here. The way that they go together is very, very simple. You don't really have to line anything up. You just kind of make sure that they are able to go together, and they actually snap together. And it's also equally as easy to take apart. You just pull. You don't have to worry about lining up the track joiners, because everything's already done. I'm going to set this train set up and do some filming. So I will, it's going to take a little bit, and it may or may not be boring, so you will see the layout fully completed in a moment. Alright, so I have the track set up here, and what I'm going to do is demonstrate the re-railer. I'm going to take the train, or one of the cars, put it on there, and just let it go. And as you can see, it is very nicely put on the tracks. I'll do the same thing with this guy right here. Straighten the trucks out and just let it go. And once again, very nicely put on the tracks. Just push them together and they couple right up. Push these guys off so there's room for this guy to come on, and just let it go. And it's on the tracks. So these guys are together. The coupler is not magnetic, it's just a friction coupler, or what I would assume would be called a friction coupler. It's just one of those things that kind of links together like that. So this guy I can't just let go because it's powered, so we're going to push it ourselves, and it's nice on the tracks. And then just, boom, coupled together. Right now, the power pack is not plugged in, so I'm going to move the camera to get a better vantage point, and you will get some running action picture video stuff. Alright, so I apologize for the shakiness of the picture. I'm actually freehanding the camera right now. This is the power pack, it's plugged in over there. And there's the train, as you can see. Try and get it both in the shot. It's a very smooth operation. This is about half speed right now. And I'm going to do full speed. And bring it back down to a nice stop. What is really cool is that you can do like a crawl with it. I'm going to put the camera down here, and you can do a very, very slow crawl with it. And that's perfect if you're, uber realistic in your layout management, or, whatever. I've seen people with like crazy realistic layouts, and they slow the trains down right to a crawl when they're pulling out of the station or going into the station or whatever. And this is just absolutely perfect for stuff like that. We'll bring the camera back over here so you can see it coming back around. Notice, if you can, that the 161 right there on the nose lights up. I don't know if the video is that good. I'll bring it back around now, and I will stop it with my thumb right here, which is not the greatest thing to do, but as you can see, the faster it goes, the brighter the light gets, which is pretty damn cool. And I will also show you that in reverse, I'm just going to disconnect the couplers here. With these types of couplers, it can be slightly frustrating. So let's get this car back on track. And let's get this engine back on track. So you've seen the front. I'm going to put the train into reverse, and then I'm going to back it up. And you can see the lights in the back come on. So I'll pull it forward, and as you can see, as it's pulling forward, the lights in the back do not come on. I'll put it back in reverse, and there's the lights again. And then I will flip the camera around, and as you can see, the lights on the front are on, and then I'll put it back in reverse, and the lights on the front stay off when you're going in reverse. I think that's a pretty neat little touch.